unions and trade unions themselves, they want their members to have well-paid jobs.
They certainly do, and they want them to have well-paid jobs and to have some money left over and be able to heat their homes and to be able to feed their children. So, yeah. So Gary Smith has come out, the head of the GMB union, as saying he's very supportive of fracking, and that hasn't been very widely reported, has it?
Now, the GMB, I think, are the second biggest union behind Unite in this country.
Well, they are.
A major funder of the Labour Party.
Major funder, but, you know, it goes against Keir Starmer's net zero messiah narrative.
So why is no one talking about this?
Well, because, you know, all the mainstream media want everyone to think that everyone's very supportive of net zero and we must press ahead and all these deals have been done, the contracts have been signed and, you know, the Sir Humphreys have done all their deals with the wind companies.
Strike prices pre-agreed, all this sort of thing.
You've got a situation where they're charging when contracts are done in terms of allocation of money, as the civil service do, they charge out a tonne of CO2 at 250 quid, whereas you can actually offset it for $10. So you've got all these projects being like loaded with cash. Why? You know, we're going to be doing a lot of investigation. We've got lots of FOI requests at the moment going in. We're going to find out what's behind all these deals. Who knows?
In the end, it's money. It nearly always is.
It's always money.
But I'm fascinated by this. You know, the boss of the GMB, not just the second biggest union, but major funders of the Labour Party.
Yes.
And the Labour Party gets something like 85% of its money now from the trade unions.
Yep.
Is there any other sign on the centre-left of politics of a move in people's thinking?
Well, absolutely. I'm not going to name many names, but one of the major donors, in fact, possibly the major donor to the Labour Party. Independent donor is very sceptical about net zero, very sceptical. Now, I'm not sure if he'd like to come out publicly and say that. Maybe he will after seeing me on this. But, yeah, there's definitely cracks. But I've heard through the grapevine, well, more than through the grapevine, but I'm not going to talk about specifics at the moment, that an equivalent of the net zero scrutiny group, but on the Labour side, has been formed. We have MPs they have MPs, I'm not non-partisan, but they have MPs that have already signed up because, you know, call me old-fashioned, but I thought the Labour Party was supposed to care about working people and, you know, God forbid, poor people. And they're the people who are, you know, going to be hit by this.
I just, you know, made the point with Lawrence Harr that it's the poor disproportionately paying for all of the renewables.
Absolutely.
And have
what
been
about
for a
the
long time.
blue-collar working class jobs? I mean, if you haven't got fracking, that's why Gary Smith is saying this is ludicrous. If you haven't got fracking, where are the highly qualified working class jobs? Oh, but we don't really care about them anymore.
Well, there could be tens of thousands of them.
Oh, there could be, and there will be, hopefully. Liz Truss needs to get in there, but I'd just like to make a point. If the Tories don't sort themselves out and get fracking as soon as possible, this is an open goal for Labour. It really is.
It would be if they had the courage to go for it.
Well, absolutely. But, you know, different parties have different motivations and you know better than I do how you can manipulate that. So, you know.
Lois Perry, really interesting.